So you made it, fourth and final video. We'll do a quick recap of the last video, how attention is hijacked. And we looked at the 6 mechanisms which through digital platforms capture, fragment, and erode human attention. So we looked at design patterns, we looked at the dopamine loop, we looked at multitasking myth, we looked at the autonomy problem, we looked at the cost of the ping, and we looked at deep work and the brain drain. So last video, arguably the most important, reclaiming the attention. What are the evidence-based solutions? So the first one here, environmental design. Putting the phone in the other room during deep work or anything that you want to focus on that's not on your phone. This is shown to produce the best cognitive outcomes, out of sight, out of mind, out of processing. We come back to the idea of attentional landscaping potential. We talked about how someone else can have it over you, how social media can, how the phone can, but you can also have attention landscaping potential over yourself. You can landscape your own environment. You can make it easier for you to do the things that you want to do and to fight against what's trying to pull your attention. And the easiest way to do that is to take the things that are going to distract you. The biggest thing I started to do was to remove the phone an hour before when I went to bed and wait an hour after I woke up. This is the big sort of turning point for me and my big realization and why it's led me to this point, is that for 8 years, and maybe even longer, I woke up every single day with my phone in the hand because I'd fallen asleep the night before being on my phone. And then you spend significant amounts of day on your phone as well. And that's just not healthy. You wouldn't bring your microwave to the bed with you. You know, it's having better relationships with this technology. And that was the big sort of aha moment where I realized that this has got to a point where the only thing I could describe this as is an addiction. So we'll look at the next sort of stuff you can pair with the environmental design. Notification audit. Disable all non-essential notifications. We found in 2015 that the phone notifications alone, even on red, significantly disrupt task performance. So even just seeing the notifications, and we've been over this. Again, we're closing the loops. We're stopping the loops being opened even before they start. So we don't even want to see the notification because that's going to create an urge for our brain to resist. We just want to completely remove it. We want to turn the notifications off. If we're doing something on our phone, we want to make the experience focused and intentional as possible. And we can also pair that with the grayscale mode. So if you go into your settings, you go into accessibility, you go into visibility, you can grayscale your phone. So you can remove all the color from your phone because color triggers emotional engagement. Switching to grayscale reduces the visual pull of apps and icons and the content by dampening your reward cues. And some people can maybe see this as an extreme way of doing things, but again, we're trying to detach the loops. We're trying to disrupt the loops and we're trying to detach from the phone. So anything we can do to remove color, to remove it from the environment, to remove notifications, to remove all those stimuli and all that draw, to get us to a point where we have more control over our relationship with the technology. Because there's a massive, as we've just gone in the last 3 videos, there's a massive backdrop working against you, engineered to design and influence. And we need to fight against that. We can also do this with time blocking. So this, again, comes back to being intentional. Schedule specific windows for emails, social media. Batching reduces switching task costs and preserves sustained attention capacity. So we're saying we're going to focus on one thing at a time. When that's done, we can switch to the next thing. And that conserves our energy. And it also allows us to be intentional with our time. And you can pair this with auditory cues. So we can use the 4 stimuli and say, whenever I'm going on my phone, anything to do with my phone, I'm going to say out loud, I am going on my phone to check this message. I am going on my phone to check this email. And here we're just pairing 2 things. We're pairing a physical action of time blocking, and we're pairing the auditory cue of what we're going to do on the phone. So we're being intentional with the time and we're being intentional with the actions. And then you can do attention training. So we find mindfulness meditation strengthens sustained attention. So it demonstrated measurable improvements of attentional control after 8 weeks. And this can even be as simple as when you're exercising or going on a walk, or thinking about any activities you do where you don't need your phone. Like, you can go on a walk and you don't need your phone. And you might argue, well, what if someone needs to reach me? Well, what if something happens? Are you going to get back in time to affect what's already happened? If something happens to you, aren't there people around you all the time that have phones anyway? You can start to think, you can start to maybe debunk some of the beliefs and some of the reasons you tell yourself you need the technology. Maybe they are valid. Every situation is going to be different, but you're trying to implement habits to break loops. And social contracts. So establish phone-free norms in meetings, meals, social accountability, leverages our need for belonging and reinforces habits. So everyone's doing it, then I'm going to do it. So if you get everyone else involved, and this is also part of like being honest with the people around you, your friends, your family, saying, look, I have this issue. I want to disconnect. I want to connect with the people around me. I want to disconnect from this phone. Can we all, put the phones away, put them in the bag, have a space where we're phone free, where we can have the pressure taken off us, constantly having the phones around us, and we can engage more in what we're doing. So the final thought, attention is a choice. Cal Newport, Deep Work. This quote here is really important. The quality of our attention determines the quality of our life. If we understand the psychological mechanisms at play, that's the first step. The platforms won't change what they're doing. And in some ways we agreed. We made this happen as consumers. Legally, by law, they have to tell you that they're going to collect your personal data, that they're going to tell you about what's happening on the app, what they're using stuff for. They're going to tell you about the AI algorithms. But there's a big bunch of terms and conditions. We're not reading that. We just want the free product. We just want to be involved. We want to socialize and be a part of something. So we encouraged it as well. So they're not going to change it as long as we keep encouraging it. And I think there are a lot of benefits to having the social media. So completely removing them might not be the choice. But now, armed with evidence, we can design the environments, we can landscape our environments and the habits to protect our most valuable cognitive resource. Protect your attention. It's finite, it's fragile, it's yours. So task 4. Last task, I want you to comment what your biggest problem is. What are you facing? Think about this whole video series. What is the point that stood out for you the most? Where do you want to start attacking? And we're all going to work together as a community, and we're going to help, and we're going to support you. And we're going to use that information to design more tools to help us all.